Okay, let me start here by saying that this is Commissioner Murphy's last meeting after 17 years of distinguished service. He is stepping down, and what I would like to do is give everybody, starting at the left, an opportunity to sort of express their thanks as they would like in their own words to Commissioner Murphy.
George, we've known each other for a long, long time, and you've always been somebody I can go to for questions, even before I was in this position. And you've been my mentor in this position, and I appreciate you and wish you the best in your retirement. And don't think you're going to get away without those breakfasts that we have once in a while, just to chat.
Only if you let me by now and again.
Best of luck, and we'll be seeing you around.
Thank you, Oscar.
I remember our phone call like it was yesterday when you said, if you're so interested in what's going to get built there, you should apply for the Planning Commission position. And I thought, out of spite, I'm going to do that. And so I filled out the form, and 3.5 years later, I have learned so much about how city government functions. I try just to stand close to CJ as much as possible to absorb some of the osmotic information that he shares, but you share an equal amount of amazing information and just a wealth of knowledge. And thank you so much for the 17 years of service and the kick in the pants to submit my application to be a part of this commission.
Well, now that you're up here, you're probably thinking, boy, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
I didn't.
And you can't stand next to that guy and absorb anything. You got to ask him the question. So, and be prepared for a 101 on anything. So,
thank you, George.
Commissioner Poole.
This is difficult. This is very, very difficult. When I applied to be on the Planning Commission, and George reached out to me and said, let's have coffee. And I think that conversation lasted about 2 hours,
probably
something like that, about 2.5 hours. But such a wealth of wisdom. You made me feel welcome. You gave me some wide guidance to stay out of politics, to different things like that. And I just appreciate you. I appreciate that you would take my text messages or my phone calls when I had questions. We're going to miss you. We're going to miss all of the wisdom that you've imparted upon us, but we still do have your phone number, and hopefully we'll be able to get together. You're going to miss us too, so we're going to make sure that we have some regular meetups as we go forward.
I may miss you, but I might change my phone number.
You forget we know where you live.
Yeah, you know where I live, though, don't you? Yeah.
But thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
I would be remiss if I know the hardest work done by this commission, or what ends up here, is with the staff. If any of the staff members would like to say a few words, we will give you 2 minutes now.
Why don't you go?
2.
I just wanted to take a quick minute. I no longer sit with the Planning Commission, so tonight is an honor. I started here with George Murphey being on the Planning Commission about 15.5 years ago. And we worked together for so many years. We did nice rides in the neighborhood to look at how speed humps would affect his neighborhood together. We also had long 2.5-hour coffees together. Not only do I consider him a great planning commissioner, but a friend, and I'm going to miss him dearly. And whenever he is in the building, I light up looking for him because he is kind of a light, right? A little bit around him, that aura of joy. So I will miss you dearly, and don't be a stranger. And I too know where you live. So
and you can get there quickly because there's no speed bumps.
That's right. So we will hang out, and thank you for your service. The city is indebted to you.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. You know, all those years of me, you, and Frank, the fabulous duo. So maybe the three of us can get the band back together at some point.
Well, even when I was on the left of the dais, we were both on the right,
That's right. Absolutely. Thank you.
George, I won't spend a lot of time, but other than say thank you on behalf of my entire family. thank you for all your years and the friendship. And it's back as far as 2004, 2005 or so.
Well, yeah, Christopher, I think I knew Jessica before you knew her, his wife. And she was one of the first planners I had any intermingling with on a planning issue, and we became good friends. And next thing I know, she shows up with him, and I've seen her. They got married. Their kids have gone from this to this, and that's the kind of relationships I've developed over the years. And Jessica is one of those special ones for me too. So thank you, Chris.
So, George, it's hard to believe. It's been 7 years since I started here. Before I started here, I don't think I had any gray hair, but I think with your critical insight into our projects and making us think about how we review projects here in Elk Grove, especially projects in the rural area, which I wasn't familiar with in my position before, really increased the level of quality of the projects we bring forward. And also, we've found that you've been receptive to new ideas and new design ideas on top of being critical of the projects that we bring to you to make them better projects. And just thank you for all the guidance you've provided, both as a colleague and a planning commissioner.
Well, thank you. And I hope that gray hair is not attributed to me.
It may be.
It may be some of it anyways, huh?
I want to, but I can't joke. I can't joke it out. I will probably miss you the most. We have 17 years together, so.
Yeah, well, Sandy used to deliver our briefing books to us. And I was her last stop on the way home. And we had many conversations, and her and my wife, they have a lot in common. And, okay, Sandy, I'll shut up. But thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, George, before I get to my statement, former Commissioner Weiser could not be here tonight, unfortunately. She wanted me to read a text, if that's okay. George Murphey has been a staple in Elk Grove for nearly 2 decades, dedicating himself to smart planning of this city. He's been a mentor and a friend to me for many years, and his time and service to Elk Grove should be recognized and celebrated. We are so lucky to have had him coaching planners for years, and he will be missed. Thank you for always being an amazing support to me and for being a great friend. I hope you enjoy your retirement and know you will be missed. Thanks for your dedication and service.
Thanks, Darren. I guess I'll have to text her thank you,
Yes.
among other things.
So I have a few fun facts, and some of them are facts, and some may be trivia questions for you.
Oh,
So let's get started. Mr. George Murphey was appointed to the Planning Commission on February 28, 2007 by former mayor and council member Gary Davis.
true.
His first Planning Commission meeting was on March 1st, 2007, over 17 years ago.
True. I don't recall, but that might have been, was that a Walmart project?
No, we're getting there.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember who you replaced?
I do, actually. Joe Dos Rios.
You got it. All right. And then you were sworn in by the city clerk. Do you remember her?
Peggy, over the phone, by the way. She was
It
sitting that
was. It was over the phone. And
night. No grudges, by the way.
It was probably a BlackBerry or a Motorola phone.
I think it was.
Like tonight, after he was sworn in, Commissioner Murphy gave the Pledge of Allegiance, or led the Pledge of Allegiance. So, a first and a last.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first project? That probably is digging deep.
Well, the only one I can remember is oh, you know what? It might have been one off of Bradshaw Road, over in East Policy. What was that called over there, Christopher? No, I know it was Elk Grove. Anyways, the East Elk Grove project, I believe.
You were right. It's the East Elk Grove specific plan, and it was a project called the Stone Spring Estates 2.
And we turned it down.
You did. You denied your very first project. So, do you remember who the planner was on that?
Jessica. No.
No, it was Christopher Jordan.
Was it you, Christopher?
So he is your first and last presenter.
You come a long way, Christopher.
Do you remember your first question you asked?
Oh, gosh, no.
It
What
was
am I
about
doing here?
You asked about the language in the specific plan regarding density averaging.
That's right.
And of course, you recommended, I think it was all five recommended denial to the council.
We did.
Actually, it was Tim Murphy, I think, voted for it, but there were four, including yourself, so.
You know, there used to be two Murphys on here. They put
Different-
an E in,
different
we
spellings.
we were twins, and they put an E in my name to tell us apart.
So I went around my staff and a few other staff members to give me one-word adjectives to describe you. So, and as an engineer, I put them in alphabetical order.
Hope none begin with A.
Astute. Caring, contemplating, critical but fair, dedicated, dependable, inquisitive, fair, friendly, kind, knowledgeable, open-minded, passionate, personable, reasonable, reliable, resourceful, sweetheart, that did not come from me, thorough, and thoughtful. And that about sums Mr. Murphy up in our, yeah.
You probably have some of your own letters to put out there.
I
but-
do. But no, George, it's been an absolute pleasure for a person that is a licensed civil engineer. I did learn planning from you as well as, you know, thank you for being a friend and a mentor. You will be missed. We will continue to have either breakfast or beers, and I look forward to those times. And I don't think we're seeing the last of you.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I'll probably be involved with the rural community for a while, if nothing else. And I don't know who came up with those adjectives, but thank you. I never, you know, you don't look at yourself as other people look at you. You know, I'm one of those guys, you just do your job and you do it the best you can. And that's kind of where I look at myself. I don't, intend to get these kind of comments. But I tell you that they go to my heart. So thank all of you. And to my fellow present commissioners. Oh, you wanted to say something, didn't you?
Well, I was going to wrap it up, but if I get a chance.
Well, I don't want to, you're a chair, so you tell me what
I
to
know.
do.
But no, I mean, I was just going to make a few comments, but almost anything I was going to say has already been said. All I'll say is when I joined the commission 3 years ago, right in the midst of the pandemic, George sort of took me under his wing. He has served as a mentor since then. And I don't call too many people my friend, but George is actually a friend. And his knowledge, not just of what planning commission or planning matters, but history is amazing. How any man can remember what he did at his first meeting 17 years ago. I do not remember what I did at my first meeting 3 years ago, okay? So he's just a wealth of knowledge, and he's been so generous in sharing his information and knowledge. And he and I have had a lot of phone conversations, none of which are in violation of the Brown Act, if I may add. And I do know where George lives, and he and I already have plans to sit over certain drinks. Let's just put it at that. We won't, soft drinks, let's put it that way. But George, on behalf of everybody here, we have a little plaque for you, which reads, "In appreciation of many years of contribution to the city of Elk Grove as a planning commissioner from 2007 to 2024, to George Murphy." So, here you are, sir. And thank you all for, I know some of you, this is longer than you'd have wanted to stay, but you're here.
Yeah. Our last meeting, my fellow commissioners gave me a book written by Miss Elizabeth Pinkerton about the history of Elk Grove. And It was much appreciated, but it was even more appreciated when I read what you put in that book. To this commission, I can tell you, you've come a long way in spite of the pandemic, in spite of never been in chambers when they were appointed. You've come a long way. And I've served with many fine people up here, all passionate, all do their work, their homework, which is important. They show up prepared. And not only were they colleagues up here on the dais, but most of them have become friends of mine over the years. And that's the biggest takeaway from this, from staff, you guys, former commissioners, and people I met just by talking to you during our breaks or before or after a commission meeting. So I think, again, staff, all my commissioners I've worked with, the public for coming out and being part of the process. Stay tuned, folks. Things go on in the city all the time. And don't be surprised if something happens to your neighborhood and you don't know about it, because the information's out there. Sign up for the updates and alerts for the Planning Commission, City Council, Zoning Administrator, any particular governmental body that you may be interested in. But with that said, it's George Murphy signing off.